My mother hates my 6-year-old sister with Down syndrome and blames her for our dad leaving us. I want to have custody of my sister, but my mom won't let me. I got in touch with a few people who helped me get free legal counseling. At the counseling, the attorney I was talking to thought it would be best to comb through my own life, fix whatever had to be fixed, and then proceed to legally petition for guardianship over Mary. He didn't think I had much to go on, because my mom wasn't completely neglectful, she wasn't abusive, and she wasn't unfit to parent. She just had no problem dumping almost everything on me and using my love for Mary to manipulate me into not leaving. But he also thought that even though it was probably going to be messy, I could win. The only major problem was the fact that I had to move out and leave Mary behind. Moving out meant I could prove that I can provide a good, safe and stable home for Mary, all on my own. So at the end of July 2020, I did the hardest thing I'd ever done, and I moved out of our family home and into a 2-bedroom apartment. 1 bedroom for me and 1 bedroom for, hopefully, Mary. In that same week, I was laid off work at the event planning agency. I felt miserable and like I'd made the worst mistake of my life. My friends really saved me during that time with their emotional help and support, because all I did was cry and worry about Mary. I had to gather all my strength to get over the paralyzing fear that started to consume me. I still had my side gig that became my main income, but I could never support the two of us with that, so, on top of everything else, I started looking for another job. I got incredibly lucky with that, as a company I had worked with previously had an opening in their PR team and then they hired me. All of this, from the day I moved out until the day I got another job, lasted about 3 weeks. And during those 3 weeks, I would see Mary once a day for about an hour. Our mom allowed me to continue visiting her, and she was being weirdly calm through all of this, which made me believe that she lawyered up and her odds were better than mine. I started reaching out to Mary's teachers, other parents I was on friendly terms with, her doctors, a few of our family members. I was basically looking for people who could support me in writing and let the court know that I was the one taking care of Mary. I also made copies of every document and receipt I had that could support my claim. My friends pitched in and gave me $1,500 of their own money to help me with the potential cost of everything, and then the most unexpected thing happened. My mother called me and told me she would willingly give up legal custody of Mary and petition to have it transferred to me. Those 4.5 weeks that she spent taking care of Mary all on her own were enough for her to realize that she didn't want that. She was never a mom to Mary, and she had no intention of becoming one. I think that realization hurt her deeply, because during those weeks she did try, I could tell, and Mary in fact did tell me that mom was nice to her. But that was not the life she wanted, and, even though I was terrified that our mother would put Mary in a care facility after moved out, I was happy that she admitted defeat to herself and did what was best for Mary. I felt like I could finally breathe. Things were going good. The whole legal process was a bit delayed due to the vid, but it didn't take too long. Mary moved in with me. We had a lot of catching up to do. I had a lot of explaining to do because she was so overwhelmed after I moved out of our house. We were settling into our new routine. We were happy. At the same time, the vid restrictions kept changing. School had already started and I was terrified of navigating through it all. Mary had asthma that was fully under control, and she would only have minor flare-ups during allergy season, but it still made her high risk when it came to the vid. I held off on sending her back to school for in-person learning. I worked from home Tuesday through Friday, and I only had to be in office on Mondays. During that time Mary would be at home with a nanny who was tested every time. But the isolation was slowly getting to Mary, as she was highly social, so I agreed to taking her to 1 play date a week and 1 outing of her choice per week, which was usually shopping. We did go on daily walks and little trips to nature, but that was usually just the two of us. Sometimes one of my friends who were also vid safe would join us. None of the precautions were enough, and all of the little outings I decided to make possible for her were too much. I lost Mary to the vid in February of this year. One morning she woke up with a fever, and I knew. Her symptoms developed rapidly. Her lungs lit up like a Christmas tree on the X-ray, and she was hospitalized. On day 2 of her hospital stay, she had to be put in an induced coma and placed on a ventilator. She was doing well for the first week, and then her blood pressure started dropping rapidly. My heart shattered into a million pieces when I saw the caller ID on my phone at 11:26 p.m., and it's been that way since. Our mother, who is fully blaming me, has moved back to Georgia to live with her sister. And I've been both alive and dead since the day Mary died. I haven't visited her little grave since the funeral. I pay someone every week to go to her grave, leave flowers for her and clean up the previous ones. Sometimes I go to the graveyard multiple times a week, and I just stand by the fence, without moving forward. I'm angry and miserable and numb and heartbroken, all at the same time. I've distanced myself from all of my friends who are still not giving up on me, but I can't bring myself to accept their help. I feel undeserving of it. I feel responsible and guilty, and like the only way I should be allowed to live my life is in complete pain. Because if Mary doesn't have a happy ending, why should I get to have one?